Melita Townsend, it's your turn, girl.
Come on, Durr.
She's been struggling with this all night. It's going to be all right.
Melita, of course, Glenn R.'s lovely wife and longtime friends with John Henry.
You can wear those if you want. You don't have to. Just feel natural, girl.
And pretty much coordinator of this event tonight. She's really been a big help on
I'm scared to death right at this moment.
calling all the people.
And stood at the gate and let them all in.
You know I don't do this, but
You do this.
because of John.
There you go.
Bless your heart.
This is a story that most people don't know. I have worked with Clear Channel for almost 11 years. I wasn't really that involved in the music, but anybody that knows Glenn R. knows he's very outspoken, pretty well speaks his mind. Well, years and years and years ago, Glenn got really upset over some of the bands not being played, some of the bands not getting their fair shake, he thought. So he bitched enough around the house. I said, either call him or write him a letter, do something. I'm sick of hearing it. So he wrote a letter. 2 days later, I get a phone call. I answer the phone, and they asked for Glenn, and I said, may I ask who's calling? And he said, John Henry. And I went, holy crap, Glenn, what'd you say that this man's calling us? Because of that relationship, because of that one phone call that somebody cared enough what a musician thought, I now sit in the job that I'm sitting in. I now know all the musicians that I know, the friends that I've made.
Yeah.
That never would have happened if John Henry hadn't had the heart that he had. Another story, years ago, after we had developed a relationship, John Henry was one of the only people that ever answered a phone.
No.
I'll attest to that.
Yes. Being in the business, I know that.
You could always call him at home.
Yes.
If he was there, he'd answer the phone. Yeah.
When Glenn was playing 300 nights a year, and my best friend had committed suicide, and I was sitting at the house by myself, didn't know what to do, I called up John Henry, and he would sit and talk me through it. He would play the songs, and now knowing the business, I realized that he was popping records and changing this and putting carts in and playing commercials. Never missed a beat talking to me. And I thought about that because I'm not the only person he ever did that with. He did that with anybody and everybody that needed him or wanted him or just needed a voice to recognize him or to be known by. And he was just that kind of a guy. I know him more as a friend. I know him more as a man that cared about the people, cared about his business, and loved his family.
And that's rare to find.
Yes. And he was that way on stage, off stage. 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm had a few Melita margaritas. There's another story with John Henry on that, too.
Oh, do tell.
The Chuck Berry concert that was talked about earlier.
That's been brought up a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. That was like a legend. John we had talked about me being Mexican, of course, and I told him he's always talking about tequila and margaritas, and I said, honey, you ain't had one till you've had a Mexican limeade.
Made by a Mexican.
Made by a real Mexican. So, needless to say, Chuck Berry, Glenn R's opening up for him. Now, Mexicans are very generous. We don't do glasses. We do jugs, pitchers. So
I partied with you,
There
girl.
you go. By the end of the evening, now, John Henry was never drunk, okay? But he sure couldn't feel his lips. I do believe it was Jimmy that led him to his car. And he, all the way there, he's going, I love those Mexican limeades. And those are just a few of the memories that I have.
You did great.